Matt. Welcome to the Good Life. I do a little radio show in my backyard. I'm a lucky guy. In fact, I'd say luckier than most. I have lots of friends that I like to call stars. Hey, in fact, there's one now. You probably know Ryan Stiles, Drew Carey Show. Whose line is it anyway? Black Hawk Down?
I wasn't in Black Hawk Down, Matt. That wasn't me, okay? What are you doing here?
The gate was actually open. I thought I'd take a little jacuzzi-roo.
I got company coming over, okay? People that matter, okay? Get up, go.
Bubbles feel so good,
Look,
Ryan.
Matt, you know what? You gotta stop doing this, okay? I can't be coming home with the wife and kids and you're in my tub, okay? Just get out.
I'm not wearing nothing.
Doohickey, you know, the doohickey that rolls.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time!
The most imitated radio station in the nation.
I'm through with standing in line for some fun to begin, but I found a good thing leaving me with a grin. It's time for Outlaw Radio to begin.
You have the great Billy Gibbons here? Yeah.
It's very cool.
He just passed out. Oh, yeah. Hey, that didn't sound too bad. Huh?
Had to lighten them up loud. Oh, man. We're here with Matt. Oh, yeah. Had to lighten up. Oh, little Outlaw Radio. We're here with Matt.
And he's not fat.
We got all these guys and girls in the house. Let me tell you, that's where it's at. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Allen. Pass me a gallon.
Yee-dee-dee-dee-dee. The story of a man who had a really bad day in a few minutes. I mean, a really bad day. Trying to have a good day, and then it turned out he had a really bad day.
He's trying to cheer himself up.
He was trying to cheer himself up. I think the guy has cancer and
Brain cancer.
Brain
His
cancer.
dad just died.
Yeah, so he's minding his own business, and he got a little something to sort of help him internally. And I'll get to that in a second. And Mama didn't raise no bitch. We got a lesbian that takes on Pride Month, and this is some good stuff.
Yeah.
She is all tatted up. Did you see her?
No, I heard about it, though.
Oh, she's good, man. She is good.
Yeah, I like her.
And I think she is saying what most gays are feeling. I really do. I don't think most of the gay folks are in on this complete woke crap and this pride thing.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Unless you're stuck with half the population that's listening to this stupid woke news and watching how excited everybody is about it.
Yeah, but it's Bill Burr, and we'll get to Bill Burr in a few minutes. I have
Bill.
I have about a 90-second piece from Bill, which is spot on about it's the white women. It's the white lefty. I said there's nothing worse than a white male lefty, except a white female lefty, and they have sort of taken over the woke issue, and Bill Burr puts it into words. This has been an emotional roller coaster for me this week. And I think I got all the crying out of the way. I hope, but I
Probably
don't
not.
know.
Probably not.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
See, that's Tattoo Dave wanting me to cry on the show. Yeah,
I think it's good for the crowd.
I see what you're doing. It's all about the ratings, ain't it? Yeah.
Everybody mourns differently.
Yeah. Lost.
As soon as I heard about this, which was before you posted it, I texted you immediately. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just knew.
Okay, Dave, you're the hero. Can Matt finish his story?
Please be quiet, Marty, or I'll just quiet you down myself.
Yeah. And the fact that I cannot believe that Dick Sherman, Dick Sherman, the man who wrote every Disney song back in the day when Disney was good. You remember those days?
No.
Yeah, I think I was 2.
Yeah, he wrote everything. Keep denying. What does that mean, Mark? I'm not in that mood, but this is the show, and we'll roll with the punches. So you denying that? What does that mean?
I was denying comedy. Move on.
Well, no, don't tell me what to do on my show, Mark C.G. Boyer. You're the one with the stupid ears. Okay? All right?
Small World to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang to...
He and his brother wrote every Walt Disney song. Yeah. And he and Milt Larsen, best friends since they were kids. And of course, I met Dick Sherman through Milt so many years ago, at least 30 years ago. Dick Sherman remains one of the sweetest, nicest guys ever.
We had him on, yeah.
I mean that from my heart. I mean, this is one of the sweetest. He couldn't kill an ant. This man, in fact, he should have written a song about that. But he's such a beautiful guy. And I attended my buddy Milt Larsen, creator, proprietor of the Magic Castle in Hollywood. I attended his birthday last month, and there he was, Dick Sherman, at 95 years old. And I'm thinking, man, Dick, any time now, Dick outlives Milt Larsen. And Bob Barker outlives Milt Larsen. Yeah. What the hell? I think Bob is 99 now.
Yeah, I think so, up there.
And I bring up the God. See, I'm tongue-tied today. It's a tough one. Bob Barker, one of the greatest hosts of television of all time, and certainly the greatest audience participation magistrate, Bob Barker. I met him at the Magic Castle. I met so many of my friends at the Magic Castle, including Bob Hayes. You should see if Bob's available. Robert Hayes, Captain Stryker from the airplane movies, both 1 and 2. And that's where I met Bob, up there at the Owl Bar in the Magic Castle, which is the second story. There are about 4 stories, and you don't know if you're going up or you're going down. But the Magic Castle is I always called it my oasis in Hollywood, because I would get together there at least once a week on a Friday after I left my air shift at Kiss FM. Good afternoon, everybody. Heading to the Magic Castle.
How's the weather?
Yeah, well, the weather. We got any weather your way? But I would be at the Magic Castle at 7:04. I'd be off the air at 6:52, and be over at the Magic Castle at 7:04. Up there at the Owl Bar, and get together with Milt Larsen, smoke a cigar, and have a great time. And see, the great thing about the Magic Castle are no Hollywood types there, including Robert Hayes. All the people that I met, even in show business, were never Hollywoody. You know, they were never that lefty, fringy. And I'm not saying that because I want to get into politics, but I'm saying, let's say, apolitical. And we never talked politics. We simply had a good time. We had an old-fashioned smoke cigar, and nothing but a great time at the Magic Castle.
Hey, Matt, I got Mr. Robert Hayes on the line for you.
Hey, Bobby, how are you, buddy?
Hey.
Yeah, I understand that, and make sure he's not. You got to bring it down way, otherwise he'll be too loud. We have new equipment, Bobby, so everything works now. We don't know what to do with it because everything.
Oh my God!
Yeah, everything's working.
What the heck?
Yeah, Robert Hayes, of course, Captain Stryker from Airplane 1 and 2, and a bunch of great movies. You know his face. You know he's the man. If you're a female, he's the man you want. Isn't that right, Bobby? Okay. Now, Bob he moved to Hawaii years ago, so I never get to see the man. But I reached out to him today, and it ends up that you're in Whidbey Island, Washington, again?
Yeah, we're heading over there. We're just a little ways from the ferry, Makapeo. And yeah. And then we're going to head over and see my sis.
Hey, Bob.
And my niece.
I just mentioned that I met you for the first time probably 30 years ago at the Magic Castle, at the Owl Bar, and Milt Larsen introduced me to you as he did introduced me to so many incredible people in my life. You have remained one of those guys that I adore, as you know. And not simply because you're a movie star or nothing. Right, Bobby? Wouldn't we be having this conversation if you weren't? Maybe not.
Massive.
No. What?
Yeah. You know, just because I'm massive. Yeah.
Because he's massive.
Hey, Matt, I just thought of something. Hey, Robert, it's Marty.
Turn him up a little bit there, Dave.
Hey, Robert, how you doing? Hey, so when you're on the ferry boat today, do me a favor, go over to the captain's quarters and say, I can operate this if there's any problem.
Yeah, do that, because you're a captain.
I just went when we dock.
Okay.
Perfect.
Bobby, I'm a little pissed. I'm a little pissed, and you're probably not expecting that from me, because I believe that Milt Larsen, proprietor, creator, the Walt Disney of our time, had a few more good years left in him. And I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus here, but I do believe he had at least a couple more good years. So I'm pissed off beyond belief today, Robert, and. This is a man we both, to this day, adore, do we not?
Yeah, absolutely. Loved him. Loved that guy.
Yeah, and we have something in common, Robert Hayes, Captain Stryker from Airplane. We both enjoyed our honeymoon at Milt Larsen's place on the Pacific Ocean in Montecito, California.
That must be great.
Yeah, not at the same time, but neither one of our marriages worked out. Did you ever think about that?
Yeah. Thanks, Milt.
Yeah, thanks a lot, buddy. But what a great little pad. He had this, you talk about an oasis on the Pacific Ocean. That was Milt Larsen.
Yeah.
And his intestinal fortitude is beyond that of a mortal human being. When everyone said, well, don't do that, you're going to lose money. Well, don't do that, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. Well, you can't start the Magic Castle. Are you kidding me? No one's going to sign up. And, and here we are, 60 years later? And I know Robert Hayes very, very well. You must have incredible respect for him because of this man that never took no for an answer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was relentless, and he just, and it was all done with fun.
Yes.
And everybody that I know, I know anyway, everyone loved him. Absolutely loved him.
Can I share something with you that is sort of personal, and I probably shouldn't be talking about, but I
don't know.
I'm gonna do this anyway.
He's in rare form.
About 4 months ago. I received a phone call from someone associated with the Magic Castle. And they said, the night before, when you were with Milt Larsen, smoking cigars and drinking bourbon, and you had a few people over, he stumbled that night. And they were sort of putting the blame on me instead of having a full-time nurse for this legend. Having a full-time caretaker for this legend who is 92 years old. He was 91 at the time, 4 months ago. And they requested that I put off the bourbon cigar get-togethers because we were doing that once or twice a month and getting together, talking about old showbiz and having a great time. And Milt, Milt was loving it. Milt was loving the time. Not one to boast, but the time we spent together. Mark C.G. Boyer would drive because, of course, I would get sloshed a Rooney with Milt Larsen's classic old-fashioned. Nobody made it old-fashioned like Milt Larsen. And he would have them ready for us when we arrived, Bob. And because Mark C.G. Boyer does not drink, he knew what Mark. This is what a caring person Milt Larsen was and is there in heaven. He knew what Mark drank, and it was a Pepsi or a Coke, and he'd always have one for him, waiting for him.
It was lovely.
Yeah, and when Mark sent me a little note saying, I'm very sorry for your loss of your friend, I said, no, Mark, our friend. because you know he loved you to death as well, Mark, and I know he loved Robert Hayes. He would ask about you almost every time we got together, and I said, well, you know, he's in Hawaii. Nobody sees him anymore. He's an outcast from Hollywood. That Robert Hayes.
I'd give him a call every once in a while. He and Marlene, I would give Arlene a call when Milt wasn't there, and get a hold of Milt, track him down to the castle, and give him a call, and just keeping in touch and sending notes, and it was just wonderful. He was so great. And that place, remember when we went over and saw his place up in Santa Barbara, their place up there?
Oh my God!
Unfreaking believable.
Yeah,
he always knew how to stumble across the greatest things and places and just stuff, you know.
Yeah, this was his second home. The first one in Montecito, the aforementioned Montecito, where Bobby Hayes and I shared our honeymoon. You know, if we were married back then, you and I together, I bet we'd still be married, Bobby.
Yeah.
You know, because we get along. We've never fought. But this is his second place, and it's way up high on a hill overlooking the Pacific Ocean, and you walk into this joint and you see the most gorgeous original paintings from the 1920s, 1940s, movie memorabilia. Right. It is absolute heaven on earth. Don't you agree?
Yeah, and the most amazing view of the Santa Barbara Bay.
Almost frightening, almost unrealistic. You think you're watching a television show or some sort of a matte drawing that film creators put together. I mean, it's that sort of thing.
Yeah, green screen.
Yeah,
like up in a little airplane, kind of a view like that.
Yeah, it really is. It really was that sort of. You had to get your movie in there, didn't you? Airplane.
He had to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he's the new captain of the Muckleteel Ferry now.
Yeah, well, so. Bobby, it's all about him. He's a movie star. You know these movie star types.
You know what they're like.
Yeah, yeah. I will tell you that Milt Larsen has been my mentor for 32 years. Whenever I'm feeling down, and that's rare because I'm an optimistic guy. I'm always a glass half full guy. But he would always cheer me up. And because he told me so many years ago that bumblebees can't fly. Did you ever have that bumblebees conversation with Milt?
Oh, it seems like I did.
Yeah.
I think that we talked about so many things, but it seems to ring a bell or cause a buzz or something.
Yeah, I was going through something at the time, and he just brought up. He said, Matt. He said, bumblebees can't fly. And I said, what in the hell did I see them flying? What the hell does that mean? He said, that's the point, my friend.
Because scientifically,
he said,
they shouldn't be able to.
They can't fly.
Weight to wing ratio.
Correct.
They should not be able to fly, but they do.
But they do, and
they do anyway.
And that, my friends, Bumblebees Can't Fly is sitting up there at 7001 Franklin Avenue in Hollywood, California, known as the Magic Castle. That joint never should have flown, but it did and continues.
There's the old one.
And there,
ferry landing there.
Are you on the ferry?
You went over there.
Are you on the ferry?
Yeah, we're just pulling up here.
Okay. Yeah, I know how that goes. You know, I grew up there, so I've been on.
Well, they've moved the ferry landing now. It's about a couple hundred yards up north now.
So you're saying
you have to hike down to go if you want to go to Ivar's and get your clam chowder. You gotta take a hike down there.
So you're saying that I wouldn't even recognize it now?
Yeah, you would. Ivar's still looks the same.
Yeah.
I got to come in there anymore.
I got to tell you, Robert Hayes, Ivar's fish and chips, I love to death, and their tartar sauce, you could put that on dog crap, and it would make it taste good. It is the greatest, and their clam chowder is off the hook.
Hey, Robert, do you have time? Do you have time to eat before you get on, or no?
We'll see. We'll see.
He's a big movie star. He watches his weight.
Otherwise, we'll get a gourmet treat on the ferry.
Oh yeah,
from a vending machine.
Bag of peanuts.
Yeah, something like that. Hey Bob, I'm assuming because we haven't spoken since Milt Larsen's passing a few days ago, and I have to assume this hit you hard like it did me.
Yeah, I mean, but he was. You got to figure when someone's 92, they've sure had a heck of a run.
And that's but every day of those 92 years, he had a happy day.
Absolutely.
Right? He had a happy day. So I'll finish my story, Robert Hayes. And that is, I was asked not to get together with Milt for a while, a month or two. And so I put it off, and I was listening to the powers that be at the Magic Castle, unbeknownst to Milt, whom I should have made a phone call, but I didn't want to cause waves. Are you with me on this so far?
Yeah. Right.
They said, he drinks every day. I said he's had cocktails every day for 92 years. How old do you want this man to live? Right,
Bob?
Bob?
Keeps him going, right?
Yeah. So supposedly they took the booze away from him.
They mixed it with water or something?
No, I don't know what the hell they did. They removed the booze. I said, you want this man to die. I said, he's 92 years old, but I listened to them, and I guess I'm more pissed off about that than anything else. That for the last several months, and we were consistent, man. Mark and I would be over there at his place in Hollywood, right behind the Magic Castle. Not just walking distance to the Magic Castle, but you walk out his back door, and the next step, you can open the door to the secret passageway into the Magic Castle. And I'm really pissed that I listened to them, and I should have said, "Screw you." Milt and I are getting together. So you see that regret and how that hurts
absolutely.
me. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, I value our friendship. Don't let me ever pay homage to you in a show. Don't let me ever. You have to live forever, my friend.
Thank you so much. That was a great ride. Wonderful. Thank you.
By the way, not the first time he said that.
Hey!
He's
to a guy.
See, his comedy time, his comedic timing is beyond belief.
Hold on a second. I need both hands for this. Hold on.
But and first of all, and second of all, not the first time he said that. Yeah. Bob, any parting words for the great Milt Larsen on this? Yeah.
I absolutely love the guy. Gina and I went up and we visited with him at the Magic, the club that they started up there in Montecito.
Right.
And they had that kind of little opening kind of a deal. And he and Arlene were up there, and Arlene had done such a neat job with all the fun little things, I mean, it's just we sat down over the table and just talked, and the rest of the people were all doing their things, and the newspaper people were doing their things, and we just had so much fun. So I'm really glad that we had that time.
Yeah.
And here's Gina right next to me here.
And that's sort of the way you think of Milt Larsen, is fun, always fun. Always
wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah.
Hi, Matt.
How are you, Gina, spousal equivalent to Robert Hayes?
Oh, thank you so much. Better now, talking to you. What's going on?
Listen to that.
Wow.
And of course, Gina, a former craps dealer at the Pepper Mill in Reno, Nevada. That's her old stomping grounds, Reno, right, Gina?
I do know where the bodies are buried in Reno.
Yes, you do.
Oh, boy.
All right. Okay, we have to go to break. Give me, I love you, Gina. Give me Bob.
Here's your guy.
Thank you, man. My guy. See, I love that.
We're getting on this new elevator, which I've never been on.
All right.
Elevator?
They go up to.
Wow.
You get off in the parking lot. You get in this it's all brand new glass and chrome and everything.
Wow.
And you get on the elevator, you go upstairs, and then I guess you cross over and go down to the ferry boat, and that's when we're going to get on.
Okay, let's move on, because that was really uninteresting, and I don't expect that from Robert Hayes.
And very large penis right here.
Oh, great. Okay. Now we've heard too much. Bobby,
I just wanted to see where I could finally push the button. Where was it that I could get you?
Bobby, I love you dearly, and we both love the magic of Milt Larsen, and God rest his soul. And as Milt taught me years ago, never say goodbye say aloha, which means hello and goodbye. And
Aloha.
Yeah, and I'll say the same thing to Bobby Hayes. We'll be this after back on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube.
Love you, Bob.
All ends with beginnings. What keeps the planet spinning? The force from the beginning. Love. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cups to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 The present has no ribbon. Your gift keeps on giving. What is this I'm feeling? If you wanna leave, I'm with it. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cups to the stars.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Outlaw Radio. The staccato hoofbeats of a golden palomino, carrying a man who fights wherever justice needs a champion. Magic Matt Allen.
In the future, my friends, all predictions will be wrong. Welcome back. See, that's something that Milt Larsen would have penned. Welcome back to Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on Rumble.com and YouTube. That song's a little loud in my ears, man. Hey, the Albanese Brigade in Arizona, part of the many viewing parties across the country, including Wisconsin. Hey, Mary, how about that? Mary, upstate New York Mary was pissed.
New jingle. Wisconsin, we love you.
Yeah. She said, stop talking about Wisconsin. Well, we love our people in Wisconsin. And Gar's Gay Get-Together in Bakersfield. They watch the show. I don't know if that's the actual nom de plume of this.
I kind of like that name.
Not certain that's the moniker, but Gar's Gay Get-Together in Bakersfield watching Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube and or Rumble.com. It's probably about time that you subscribe to us on YouTube and followed us on Rumble.com. And what I forget to tell you is something about the analytics. You need to push the like button. I mean, why don't you do that, for God's sakes? We should at least get several hundred every week.
Yeah,
likes.
A lot of people. It's interesting though, Matt, because I watch a lot of YouTube and different platforms, and you push a like button, and a lot of people. Won't, for some reason, it's not laziness, but it's like they forget.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I mean, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
We lost, and if you just tuned in, you missed Robert Hayes, Captain Stryker from Airplane, the man that I met through Milt Larsen of the Magic Castle.
Yeah, which is now captaining the...
Yeah, captaining the USS Mukilteo ferry boat.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. You know, he also wrote songs with Richard Sherman, Oscar-winning Richard Sherman of Disney fame, the man that wrote all the great Disney songs. He worked on Truth or Consequences, and Milt Larsen and I had a lot to talk about when it came to T or C, as he would call it. So I learned that those in the business, because he worked on the show. Speaking of Bob Barker, speaking of a few minutes ago, the fact that Bob Barker is still alive and Milt Larsen is gone. I mean, I don't want anything to happen to Bob, but man, he's 99 years old. But he was... He was tethered, Milt Larsen, the creator of the Magic Castle in Hollywood, to one of the greatest shows of all time. As a kid, I used to watch Truth or Consequences.
Yeah.
So I grew up with that thing. And so finally meeting the man involved, and he started, I think, with cue cards on that show. He was the cue card guy. Then he was writing and came up with a lot of the stunts that they would do.
Well, Matt, really quickly, on Happy Gilmore, that movie, where Adam Sandler and Bob Barker
is wrong.
Bob Barker's on the golf course, and he goes, Bob Barker?
Yeah.
What the hell? And then they got in a fight.
Because they
started punching each other.
Yeah, I know.
And so Bob goes, bam, just nails Adam Sandler, and he goes, Price is wrong, bitch.
Why are we?
You got that all wrong.
Anyway, but why are we talking about that? Hey, Lorenzo Clark, how are you, my friend?
Good, baby. How are you?
Okay, well, I'll tell you how I am. I'm not good. This hit me like a ton of bricks. The passing of Milt Larsen.
I spent the whole last weekend and this week sitting shivers, as they say. I was, as much as we all saw this coming, with Milt's age declining, etc. Just the fact that he's gone is it's gut wrenching.
You know, Lorenzo Clark, who I understand is performing in Vegas right now. He's one of the truly great stage performers, and he and I have known each other almost as long as Milt and I have known each other. And we have quaffed many a cocktail, and he's the man. He's the man that brought me to a strip club on Sunset Boulevard, and the lights went out that night. And do we leave? No, everybody lit candles and used flashlights. Yeah. And I'm not a big strip bar guy, but it's Lorenzo, and so boy, the trouble that this man got me into. But Lorenzo was on the board of directors for a while there for the Academy of Magical Arts. What are we doing?
You said to use it while he was on.
Say again?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, no, I did. That was sort of my instruction, but no.
Yeah.
So, Lorenzo, this news came to me only a few hours after his passing, and I didn't take the phone call. I had to read about it in the Hollywood Reporter. And man, it's been gut-wrenching for me ever since, because so many folks, as you sort of stated there, listen, he's 92 years old. He lived not only a good life, but probably I would say the greatest life that any man could ever live. Would you agree, Lorenzo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Rang all the bells.
Yeah, you got that right.
Nice.
The greatest old-fashioned maker. He taught me to make old-fashions, as he probably did you, Lorenzo.
Oh, yeah. I got even though I wasn't legally old enough to be a bartender at the Variety Arts Center, a few times when the bartender didn't show up, guess who was bartender?
Yeah. See, those were the days.
Yeah, and Milt would say, okay, here's how you make this. Here's how you make that. Here's how you make that.
Yeah.
Get back there, kid. Make me a drink.
Well, Lorenzo Clark, the great stage performer Lorenzo Clark, he's a quick learner. He's a fast learner.
That's right.
But Milt, the things he taught me, and my mentor for at least 32 years, all positive things. If you agree or disagree, Milt Larsen, creator of the Magic Castle, that beautiful mansion on the hill there at 701 Franklin in Hollywood, this man was always positive, was he not?
Yes, absolutely. He had the spirit of Edwin.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
and he would do his laughs and his giggles, and then he'd get a few martinis, and they turned to W.C. Fields.
Yeah,
the woman that drove me to drink. Never got a chance to thank her.
Yeah.
Wasted half my money on women and booze. No, I spent half my money on women and booze. The other half I wasted.
Yeah, see that? This story just came to mind. Sitting there at the Al Bar in the Magic Castle one day, and he's drinking this odd-looking drink, and I said, "What is that?" And he said, "Matt, it's a Stinger." He said, "You ought to have one." And he had Issa, who was our favorite mixologist.
Yeah, we love Issa.
Yeah, and he had Issa. He said, "Issa, make one for Matt." And the stinger is white cream de menthe and brandy shaken up and then served in a martini glass. And so so we toasted each other, even though it was tough to find a toaster that large. All right. And,
you got to get a laugh out of Lawrence.
Three, two. Okay. But so we toasted. I sipped it. I said, "Oh, I like that." And I forget about that drink. But Milt Larsen, if it's a cocktail, Milt Larsen turned me on to it. And he said, "You know why I'm drinking this?" And I said, "Well, I don't know, but I did want to ask you because I've never seen you drink this sort of a concoction." And he said, "Well, I only drink these when I'm about to fire someone."
Oh, that's right. You told me the story. Yeah.
He was going, the fact that I mentioned Lorenzo Clark was on the board of directors for the Magic Castle, that he knows how, the crap that Milt went through with the board, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was always, a peeing match, wasn't it?
Yes. There's all kinds of stories. When you think about the opening of the club, the Magic Castle, in 1963, okay, I came in 1978 at 15 years old.
Right.
So there was a whole history that happened that I heard about over the Stingers and Martinis over the years, right, that I got to hear about. But then I got to experience it both at the Magic Castle and at the Variety Arts Center in downtown Los Angeles, where he had the Society for the Preservation of Variety Arts,
yep,
and all the old vaudevillians and the great TV stars that we know from the 70s. Bernard Fox, Dr. Bombay from Bewitched, and Larry Hovis from Hogan's Heroes, and the list goes on and on. You mentioned Robert Hayes, etc.
Yeah.
So the stories and the fact that Milt was able to keep all this in line. The Variety Arts for many years, the Mayfair Music Hall for many years, but then the Magic Castle for 60 years. Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. And Variety Arts was, and he went through hell with the city. I mean, we would talk about that. He would always look at it in a positive light, but he would tell me the crap that he was going through with the city of Los Angeles.
Permits.
Community Redevelopment Association, because damn it, they were going to make downtown great again.
Yeah, right. And I'll tell you what, once again, Milt Larsen was ahead of his time, way ahead of his time, and eventually that building, the Variety Arts building, which was a beautiful, not unlike the Magic Castle, with beautiful stages, and it was gorgeous. Anything Milt did and put together was a class act. I mean, it was always classy, and this place was so beautiful. But it eventually was, I believe, purchased by Prince, or Prince put in a nightclub there.
Prince had his after-hours party.
He attempted to. He attempted to. It was a whole thing that went down with the nightclub Vertigo, and then Prince came in with this Grand Slam.
Right.
And he was going to get into Vertigo, which was Myron's Ballroom, Jim Myron, and his family.
Hold on a second. You mean Myron from New York?
I believe from Myron, yeah.
From Studio 54, yeah.
I think so. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day.
Yeah.
But Prince tried to put in a nightclub there, and then he ended up going to another location, and the city shut him down at the Variety Arts, and still to this day it's sitting there.
So it's just sitting there empty?
Yeah, it's a film location.
Yeah, I mean, how about that? See, Milt loved the old theaters, and over the course of the last 10 years, he was gentrifying a couple theaters with a partner in downtown Los Angeles.
Is that on Broadway? Is that the one on Broadway? Yeah, we film there all the time.
Yeah, well, that's Milt's. That's another one of Milt's projects. And you mentioned the joint in Santa Monica.
The Mayfair Music Hall.
The Mayfair Music Hall, another one of these beautiful places, which goes back to jolly old England. And
yes, indeed. The British sure know how to party, don't they?
Yes, they most certainly do. And Bernard,
at the interval, the drinks will be waiting at the interval.
Yeah. And hey, do you recall what was the? Because this will all come back to me, but I'm in a fog after the last several days. I'm telling you, and I know I sound sound like a broken record, but this has punched me in the gut. And man, I think I've done all my crying, but it sucks so bad. What was the title of Bernard Fox in that show? There was a special name, not Master of Ceremonies, but
the landlord.
The landlord on stage, and he would be the presenter, and Bernard Fox,
the chairman, the landlord,
the chairman,
enormous expense.
Right, the chairman, and because of once again another man. That Milt Larsen introduced me to, Bernard Fox, Dr. Bombay, and Dr. Bombay, a.k.a.
Also Colonel Crittenton on Hogan's Heroes.
Yes, and he became a regular on Outlaw Radio. There wasn't a week that went by for many, many years that he wouldn't be here. I had his special whiskey from England, and we would smoke cigars together.
Me and my ex used to drive him. We'd go pick him up in Van Nuys and take him back, and he had one of the few pockets of Van Nuys, very nice house that he had forever. Yeah. And what a sweetheart of a man that guy was.
Yeah, see, have you found that? You know, I call the Magic Castle my oasis in Hollywood because I never ran into Hollywood types. My friends there were so down to earth. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Just the most wonderful, fabulous people. Of course, Richard Deacon was there. Yep. Jim Neighbors and boy, just and everybody was there. They left their ego at the door. Cary Grant. Well, Cary Grant set the bar, right?
Yeah.
Left the ego at the door. And everyone is welcome here. Just don't take my picture.
Yeah, right. No, it's true. And that was Cary Grant, good friends with Milt Larsen, who taught me bumblebees can't fly. And but they do. And because of Milt Larsen, I don't think I can have a bad day after I get over this passing of one of the great human beings who always enjoyed and squoze every bit of life out of every stinking day. And the part that pisses me off, and I mentioned this earlier, Lorenzo Clark, I believe he had a couple more good years in him, and so I'm a little pissed off about this, and I must tell you that. And the fact that they didn't have a full-time nurse for this legend, and I know you don't want to get into the politics of this, but I'm a little honked off.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you.
Lorenzo?
But Milt also, he didn't want to be babied. He didn't want to be in a wheelchair, although he came out in a wheelchair for his final bow at the AMAs on May 25th. But I remember I was there on the day after Friday lunch at the castle, which was Milt's last Friday lunch,
Right.
And I was having lunch, and
music's a little loud. Continue, Lorenzo.
Yeah, and he came up the stairs, and it was like people were trying to help him. It was like, no, he wanted to do it himself.
And that's
get up those stairs.
That's the way he was.
And that was 2 days before he passed. And you just go, wow, the drive and the determination of this man till his last dying day to climb the stairs of this house that he built and made such an iconic part of Hollywood and created careers for all of us. So,
he did.
Just owe him the world.
Yeah, he did. Lorenzo, God rest his soul, and I love you, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Okay, yeah, man. All right, we'll be this after back on Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
Okay, I was going to...
How about the stager? And turn my mic off, please. Stager.
Stars, would-be stars, wannabes, and people who just want to hear themselves talk. The demons of decadence, smoking, drinking, and interrupting. Live from an 1876 Virginia City, Nevada-style bar, this is Magic Matt Allen, Outlaw Radio.
Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back, my friendlies. We're paying homage to the memory of the great Milt Larsen, my dearest friend for over 32 years. He created the Magic Castle in Hollywood, California. He and his brother, Bill. And I'll tell you that story in a few minutes, that I met his brother, Bill, when I was 15 and a half years old, way before I ever met Milt Larsen.
Hey, Matt, can I just do something really quickly?
It's my brother, Mart.
There's a picture over here. I want to show the camera.
No.
No?
Well, let me explain why.
Okay.
Because the last hour of this, the third hour of Outlaw Radio, I will play the last interview with Milt Larsen. And while that is playing, we will have that picture on the show.
All right.
If you just tuned in, Lorenzo Clark, who is a buddy for a gazillion years, almost as long as I've known Milt, and was instrumental in keeping the Magic Castle alive and with good tidings. And Lorenzo is performing at the Ahern Hotel on... See, it's always a plug.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always a plug.
Well, I thought the same thing when he hung up. He's like, can I plug this?
No, but I don't blame him. Lorenzo, and by the way, you do yourself a favor to see this man on stage. Lorenzo Clark is a funny friggin' performer. He's at the Ahern Hotel on Sahara, comedy show. I guess he's doing a free one. Why would he be doing this for free?
I think it's just free tonight. It's a
okay.
Yeah, tonight, and then it'll move on.
So 7:00 in Las Vegas. If you happen to be in Vegas, you get a free show at the Ahern Hotel on Sahara. I guess I should have said, tell him Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio sent you, and you get in free. You know that.
Well, that would have been better.
Yeah. But Ahern Hotel on Sahara in Las Vegas. My buddy Lorenzo Clark. I'm going to play this little tidbit, and then we'll go to break, and then come back with more. And I do have, I have a lot of content that doesn't entail Milt Larsen, and I know you're all Milt Larsened out, but I want you to know that this could not come from a place other than my heart, and I believe I owe this homage to this man who changed my life for the better 32 years ago. This is some great words of advice. This is 762, by the way.
It's already up, buddy.
And, I asked him in your 92 years or 91 year, because this was about a year ago, on this planet, what would you change? Is there anything you would change? And Milt had this to say.
I would do everything that I've done and do more than that, because you're never done with what you could do. And I believe that to everybody in the world. There's no possibility that anybody could possibly do anything the imagination would let them do. Unfortunately, most people get sidetracked by getting a job in someplace they don't like, but they get married to somebody they're not terribly fond of, and they get divorced, and they have children who see them from, it's terrible. So I just plod along. I have my little project, very successful up to the time. I lose my lease, and I do whatever they do. And that's my life.
Milt Larsen?
And that's your question. I wouldn't change a thing.
Milt Larsen, I could go on another 2 hours with you, but let me just...
I know you do.
Let me just conclude this, or say aloha to Milt Larsen by saying, Milt Larsen, bumblebees can't fly.
That's so good. That is so good. That was a dear friend of mine one time, just when they said, it's impossible, and I said, show us a bumblebee. That is true.
They can't.
Technically, there's no way for a bumblebee to fly. But they do.
But they do.
And technically, there's no way for a crazy little house on a hill in Hollywood to make it with a bunch of magicians.
Yep.
But we do.
Impossible.
And that's 58 years later.
Wow.
And so life begins at 90, and for me.
Bill Larsen, I love you, bud. All right, we'll be this after back.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time!
The most imitated radio station in the nation.
I'm through with standing in line for some fun to begin, but I found a good thing leaving me with a grin. It's time for Outlaw Radio to begin.
You have the great Billy Gibbons here? Yeah.
It's very cool.
He just passed out.
Yeah.
Hey, that didn't sound too bad. Huh?
Had to lighten them up loud. Oh, man. We're here with Matt. Oh, yeah. Had to lighten up. Oh, little Outlaw Radio. We're here with Matt.
And he's not fat.
We got all his guys and girls in the house. Let me tell you, that's where it's at. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Allen. Pass me a gallon.
Oh, yeah. Milton Page Larsen, gone at 92 years old. Creator of the world-famous Magic Castle at 7001 Franklin Avenue, a place that I have performed since I was 15 and a half years old. And the first time I was there, it was after an audition for the Gong Show down the street on Cahuenga.
Oh, wow.
At the and I was staying at the Motel 8. Who knew that was a hooker motel? I only discovered that because there were scantily clad women using the payphone. So
cell phones back then.
Yeah, I asked about it from Peter Pitt, the man that was yet to audition me for a week at the Magic Castle. He said, "Oh yeah, that's a prostitute motel." I said, "Oh boy, what a great place for a 15-and-a-half-year-old kid." But right down the street in the former Old World restaurant, which was dilapidated, and it looked like they had a fire in there. That's where the Gong Show auditions were taking place because the great Chuck Barris, he found the least expensive joint that he could rent out to have his nuts come in there and do audition. So I auditioned. They liked my act, and they wanted me to get together with Milton DeLugg, who was the musical coordinator on the show.
Right.
And next I heard, I called my dad. He said, "Well, I got a phone call, and they asked if all your grades were C and above, California child labor laws."
Right.
And he said, "Well, I told him that no, you had an F in science."
Wow.
Yeah,
Dad, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dad. So because of that, all he had to do is say yes.
Yeah. They're not going to check it.
No, all they need to hear is yes.
Yes, sir.
So my 90 seconds of razor blade swallowing and salt pouring and all of the
would have been brilliant.
All the magic that I did, and they would not have gonged me.
I don't think so.
Come on, this cute little kid,
eating razor blades.
That Jamie Farr would have loved me, and that who was that sort of whorish chick who was on the show? What the hell? You're close.
PJ Souls.
Yeah, P something. JP Morgan.
Yeah,
JP Morgan.
She was a nasty old.
Oh yeah, she probably would have had my way, her way with me. But so that never came down. But after the audition, I felt good about it. I'm trekking up Cahuenga, and I hit Franklin Avenue, and I had an audition there at the Magic Castle that day, but I didn't know which way to go, right or left, and something told me to head to the left. Boy, have I changed a lot since then, huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm on a different plane now. But I turned left, and it was less than a block. Halfway down the block, there it was. This place that I had been watching and reading about in Genie magazine since I was a kid. There it sits, and I was brought in. And to make a long story, well, that's impossible now. But I ended up in the Palace of Mystery, the newly created Palace of Mystery, which is their big showroom in the Magic Castle. So this was around 78, And I sat with Orson Welles for an hour while he was plotting out his magic special with Peter Pitt on stage. And I won't give you the whole Orson Welles story, but as I walked down the stairs, because the Magic Castle was not open to the public yet because it was like 2 in the afternoon. I walked down the stairs and I had free reign. You know, that was the great thing. Patrick Albanese, that was the great thing about the Magic Castle, is you never felt like anyone was looking over your shoulder. You know, it was never that sort of
Big Brother.
Yeah, Big Brother thing. It was like, you know, I'm a kid and I have free reign to look around and do whatever the hell I want. Cool. So I ended up walking down. Patrick, you'll love this. Patrick was a former general manager of the Magic Castle. And so I'm walking down. I noticed the Owl Bar. I didn't know that was the name at that time. Walked down those beautiful stairs. And there in the first bar that you will see, as you say, open sesame to the bookshelf.
The main bar.
The main bar. There is this white-haired man having a cocktail or mixing a cocktail, and he said, "Hi, son. What are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, I was auditioning for the Magic Castle up there with Peter Pitt." And he said, "How'd it go?" And I said, "Well, he booked me for a week." He said, "Well, you must be good. Are you a member?" I said, "Well, I live in Everett, Washington." He said, "I'm going to make you a junior member." Instantly, he said, he said, if Peter booked you here, then obviously you need no audition.
Right.
So he was, that turned out to be, and you know, I just know you know the punchline to this, Bill Larsen, Milt Larsen's brother. So Patrick Albanese, it was Bill Larsen who I met first, and then you have to fast forward another 15 years when I finally met Milt Larsen after his brother's passing there at the Owl Bar at the Magic Castle so many years later. And
Bill was always up front and center, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you walk in that front door and there's Bill.
Yeah.
Milt was always upstairs at the Owl Bar.
yeah. And they got along great. And you know, as Milt told me throughout the years, he said, "You know why my brother died?" I said, "No." He said he wouldn't eat. He wouldn't eat because the Larsen brothers were known for their quaffing, were they not, Patrick?
They were. You know, there was probably mistakes made. I think when Bill was president, he said, "I don't need much in the way of salary. Just cover my alcohol."
Just cover the booze expense, and
Just cover the booze. Yeah, they got the bill the first year, and they said, "How about we pay you $200,000 a year?"
How about that? So they got the bill for his booze. Well, that's funny. That's classic. So
that was legendary stories.
Yeah.
But and Bill hurt, but Milt hurts more.
Oh man! Oh God!
I hate to say that.
Well, yeah, of course it does. You know, being honest is if we're for nothing on this show, we are honest. And when Bill passed, I didn't know him that much, except that first meeting when I was a kid. But Milt Larsen has been my mentor for 32 years, and a man that I've been visiting for the last couple years. Every other week at his place there next to the Magic Castle, and man, this guy I was mentioning his intestinal fortitude earlier. The fact that he wouldn't let me make a drink, he would have the old fashions ready when I arrived, which meant he had to walk down these really dangerous stairs in his apartment and mix them up, and then walk back up. And he was always tempting fate, Patrick.
I used to love that apartment he had. That was so it's right next door to the Magic Castle. I don't think it's wrecking anything by telling people about it. But I remember, when I first started working there, you'd go down to one of these basements, and you'd say, "Well, now, who in their right mind put an exit door here?"
Yeah,
right.
I thought the same
exit
thing.
Door. Yeah.
Right.
And then you go out of, and you would open it up, and you would say, "It leads to this tiny little alleyway. There's a building 5 feet away. You run right into it. This is a horrible emergency exit."
Yes.
People are going to get backed up. And then one day, Milt invites me over to his place, and we go down into this basement, and we go to that door, and he pushes it open,
walks 5 feet, opens another door, and it was his apartment.
Yeah, and, Milt told me, he said, Matt, we wrote a couple television shows together, and he gave me the script about 6 months ago. And he said, Matt, do you know why my place is 2 or 5 feet away from the Magic Castle? He said, too many DUIs. And he said, we live in an age where the cops won't let me off anymore because I'm Milt Larsen, owner of the Magic Castle. He said, so years ago he moved into that place so he could have a good time. Smart. And wouldn't have to drive to the mansion called Brookledge down the street in the heart of Hollywood.
It was fun, too, because he would just all of a sudden disappear. People would say, where did Milt go?
Yeah, right.
And, everybody was always worried. They go, well, how's he going to get home? He looked like he might have had, 6 or 7 too many.
Yeah, yes, right. And because he would disappear.
Yeah.
And he would, and he was never good about saying goodbye. And maybe I picked that up from him because I don't say goodbye. I just sort of disappear, Patrick.
I just leave, yeah. I might have picked it up from him, too. That was just, and it's funny, too, because I think there's, everybody has, you say, does that person have an impact on lives? And you go, well, Milt Larsen impacted tens of thousands, right?
Yes, he did.
I wouldn't know you. I've known you for 30 years. I wouldn't know you if it weren't for Milt Larsen building the Magic Castle.
Yeah.
There are people that would not, Lance Burton has a career, a pretty lucrative one.
Yeah,
hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yep.
Because of Milt Larsen.
Yes.
Because Milt Larsen booked him for an It's Magic show and then sent him over to the Tonight Show to be on to represent the It's Magic show and do the publicity for it. And then Carson lets Lance Burton have the whole segment, and Lance Burton, next thing you know, is in Vegas signing $100 million contract.
Yeah, and the great thing about that, Patrick, is Johnny Carson, even though he was more than proficient with cards, and he was a great magician his own self, Johnny Carson, he was known to not really like magicians on the show, and so he wouldn't go out of his way to have his booker bring in magic acts. So when he gave Lance Burton the entire segment, and I believe did he bring him over to the couch? I mean,
I think he did, because the way it went down is Lance shows up, and so they let him run his act, and they say, well, you got to cut that. That's just way too long for a magic segment. You got to get that thing cut down.
Right.
Well, uncustomarily, for some reason, Carson had come down and watched it.
Yeah.
Oh. Never. I mean, he was notorious for, as you know, hiding in his dressing room.
Yep.
And unless Don Rickles was maybe swinging by to say hi,
right.
He didn't say hi. He just hid until it was time to come out. So he watched it. I think he called Freddie DeCorvita over and says, let the kid do the whole act.
Yeah. Nice.
See, then you go, this is, fluke number 2, but it all starts with Milt Larsen.
It does all start with Milt Larsen.
That Dove act was...
Oh, my is the greatest Dove act, I think, in the history of Manchester.
So beautiful.
Yeah. That's Lance Burton. And I saw him when he was booked into the It's Magic show. I don't know if this was the same time, Patrick Albanese, but I saw him at the strip bar on Sunset.
The Body Shop.
Okay.
The Body
because
Shop.
my manager at that time, Simone Finner, who managed Hello. No, it's okay. The Ed Sullivan... Senior Wences.
Oh, yeah.
So my manager was Simone Finner, and she said, I want you to see an act. And so I'm 15 and a half years old, and for some damn reason, they weren't checking ID back then, Patrick.
No.
They didn't care. But I went to the body...
you went to the Body Shop. You were staying at the Motel 8, which was the hooker hotel.
He had a lovely time, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. How about that? Yeah, that's... and
he's in Debaucheryville.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Well, yeah, in the heart of Hollywood. And so I said, well, I'm going. And I saw Lance Burton for the first time on stage in sort of a Falaise Bergère performance at the Body Shop, which is a stripper club. Yeah. And so I also was treated to beautiful bare breasts.
Of course.
Can you imagine this? Think about this. Is it not amazing that Lance Burton is alive today?
Oh, yeah.
Because you say you get a couple of guys, you go buddies together, bachelor party, go to the Body Shop to see some strippers, and a magician with birds walks out.
Yeah.
Well, no, nobody, and they watched him. They're like, well, hang on, put your dollar bills away. This guy's really good.
Yeah, because Lance Burton was so damn good. He was mesmerizing, and it's funny. I always thought when he was booked into Vegas with his big illusion show, I thought, well, how's that going to play when he has to talk? Because this was a silent act.
Yes,
and because he's a Kentuckian, I believe, right? He's from Kentucky, and he likes his Jack Daniels and smoking his cigarettes, and he has sort of a little accent, and not the greatest, not the most mesmerizing stage presence when it comes to yakking to the audience. Don't you agree? And that's not a put down, Patrick. But
no. He may tell you what he's got, and you'll agree instantly. You see, there's a likability,
yes,
both in person and on stage.
Yep.
And I don't know how he does it, but in a matter of seconds, he starts to talk, and you go, I don't know why, but I like this.
Yeah,
you know why? He's charming.
He is. You instantly like him. Well, I'll tell you the secret. He's not phony baloney. He's not BS.
He isn't. He's the real deal.
Man, I just pictured this though at the body shop. It's like, here's the DJ. All right, you just saw Alexis. She's off stage 2. Now focus your attention to stage number 3. Here comes some doves.
Lance Burton.
Yeah. Can we turn off the David Rose, the stripper music, and put on some Vivaldi?
Yeah, or a little Rhapsody in Blue.
When I saw him in Vegas, his patter when he spoke, he grew into it.
Yeah, he
was
did.
Fine.
Yeah, of course he did. But it didn't come. It was not first or second nature for him.
No.
But and I'm glad that Patrick Albanese brought this up, that without Milt Larsen there is no Lance Burton.
No, and of course, that game that you used to they talk about. Now they make it 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
But the 6 degrees of separation was you are 6 handshakes away from the rest of the world. But I contend that if you knew Milt Larsen, you were 1 handshake away from the rest of the world.
God bless it.
Yes, Patrick.
He knew everybody, and everybody was at the same level to him. There were times you'd say, "Wait a minute, I'm sorry." You were like best pals with Cary Grant, and now I'm hanging out with you, and I'm treated the same.
Yeah.
Seriously, Milt Larsen was the kind of guy where if he was chatting with the Pope, somebody'd say, "Who's that guy with Milt?"
Yeah, it's true. It is true. I learned so many quips and verbiages from this man, including the classic that I've been using for 30 years now. When someone vacates a room, I thought they'd never leave.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where you got that from?
That's Milt Larsen.
I didn't know that.
Actually, before they actually leave, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. No. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, they have to hear it. Yeah, they absolutely have to hear it.
Yeah, but Milt used that one on me, when we first met, and so I knew that I loved him. And Milt, as we were sitting there at the Al Bar, Milton Page Larsen, and my first meeting. He said, Matt, my buddy John Schrum just passed away.
Good old John Schrum, yeah.
Yeah, John Schrum, who was the set designer for The Tonight Show, and much of the interior of the Magic Castle is thanks to John Schrum and stuff from The Tonight Show that fell off the truck.
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of found its way.
It went missing.
Yeah, it went missing, and no one really gave an S because they let John Schrum rule the Tonight Show at NBC. So, and John worked on all the sets for Bob Hope and the greatest in the business. And as we're sitting there, he said, I was just married, and this was right after his marriage to Arlene. And he said, Matt. He said, if I knew you and I were going to become such good friends, I never would have gotten married.
So wait, you'll love this. Here's a John Schrum, Milt Larsen story.
Yeah.
And that also ties into the Bumblebee.
Okay.
Ties into the Bumblebee. So, because bumblebees can't fly, right? And Milt was such a positive guy.
Yes.
So I think it's mid-70s, late 70s. Fire department comes and they're doing these Palace of Mystery big shows in a really tiny showroom.
Right.
And so fire department comes by, doing one of their inspections, and apparently Milt was out of favors because he pulled a lot of them. And they said, you can't do this. You can't do the show. You can't put this big show and put that many people in this little showroom. So it's like, well, gosh, we got people booked coming tonight. So he calls up Shrum, I believe, and says, help.
Help. Yeah, help.
Help. What can we do? Shrum says, I'll be right over. And he brings truckloads full of stuff, and in the parking lot, he builds an outdoor theater.
Wow.
And they go and they say, well, this will be the Palace of Mystery for tonight. And they don't have to cancel anything, and they pull it off. And now they got to keep doing this for a while, and they start to say, now we need plans because we got to build an actual showroom, and they realize this parking lot is the place. So that's how that parking lot ended up getting bulldozed over and becoming the Palace of Mystery, and why, when you see the castle, it's so much bigger on the inside, because that part technically underground. They just put a parking lot on top of it, and we're good.
Right, yeah, and that's what folks who have only been to the Magic Castle once or twice, they will mention that it's so much larger inside than it appears on the outside. That's because they don't know that they're underground when they're in the Palace of Mystery, in the bar and in that showroom, and it's
even though you're going under, but
that is true. Bumblebees can't fly, Patrick.
But they just said, well, what can we do? We got to do something. And so, I used to love it because when I started working as general manager there, I'd start to be there in the mornings. I was only ever there late at night. Many a night, late with Milt till 1 or 2 in the morning or whenever he went on home. And, I didn't know what happened there in the mornings. And so I started going in the mornings, and I'd see Milt there some mornings at 8 a.m.
Right.
Tool belt on, tinkering away. And at first I'd say, I can't even believe that you're alert.
Oh, he's wearing a tool belt. And he's building
because he was a carpenter.
Yes.
Yes.
He would get an idea and he'd say, or somebody would call him up. That like the whole upstairs or the whole area by the Palace of Mystery, that beautiful mahogany paneling they have there.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Do you know what that is? Milt gets a phone call from somebody who says, hey, they're tearing down an old hotel. Would you like 300 doors?
Right.
He says, sure, I'll take 300 doors. I got garages.
Yeah.
And he stores them in the garage. And now they're getting to the point where they're starting to finish this area. And they say, well, what are we going to put on the walls? He's like, I got a pretty good idea. And he goes, and he refinishes the doors, and he turns them into paneling.
Yeah.
And just for fun, occasionally going along, and the doorknob hole is still there.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yep. He
left some of them. People be like, hey, there's a hole here. He's like, that's on purpose.
It's true. Awesome. Patrick, the only reason the last 15 years I would ever visit the Magic Castle, between you and I and everyone watching us on YouTube and rumble.com and listening to us on great radio stations, was to visit with Milt. I had no other reason. I'd sort of had my fill, and that would be the only reason. So now I got to tell you, Patrick, it hurts my heart, but I have no reason to visit the Magic Castle ever again.
Yeah, Lorenzo will be there someday.
Yeah. Well, Lorenzo was here last hour. So.
Well, I know. I was listening in, and so I sent him off a text. I haven't chatted with Lorenzo in forever.
Yeah.
So we were chatting back and forth because it's kind of. I'm going, hey, see, Milt Larsen at work again. I got to hook up back again with Lorenzo.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it? Hey, Patrick, was it a punch in your gut?
It really was. Now, see, you saw him more frequently because I'm here in
Midwest,
prestigious Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah.
The palatial town of Clyde.
We only have about 90 seconds. Continue.
Yeah. So I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. When at the Magic Castle Awards banquet, they showed a picture of him, and I saw that the week before he passed, and I said, "Oh, this is bad." That was my first warning sign. And then a week later, I go, "Oh, you just hit me on the other side of the face." It really hurt.
Yeah, I've I got to tell you, I'm not a crier, but this one got me. This one nailed me.
Yeah, it really upset me.
Hey, before we let Patrick go, I want you to find this. Just punch in deaf on the instant replay there, Dave. Deaf, and it'll come up. It should have a little snippet of a song. And don't play it yet, but I'm going to go out with this. Hey, Patrick, I thank you for your friendship and many, many years of just adoring you and your humor. And you're one of the brightest guys ever, and that's thanks to Milt Larsen, the creator of the Magic Castle, that you and I have been friends for so many years.
Yep, ditto, man, ditto.
Yeah, and...
treasured friendships. Thanks for that, man.
Yeah, thanks to the great Milt Larsen. God bless him. And Patrick, God bless you. I love you, buddy. And
love you too, man.
Milt Larsen, aloha.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. And will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them that I won't be long, and they'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Yeah, we'll meet again. I don't know where, and I don't know when, but I do know that we'll meet again some sunny day. So honey, keep on smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. And would you please say hello to all the folks that I know, and tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. And will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them that I won't be long, and they'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Yeah, we'll meet again. I don't know where, and I don't know when, but I do know that we'll meet again some sunny day. So, honey, keep on smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue sky.
Passive Aggressive has a new home. You're listening to Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt Allen.
It's Outlaw Radio time!
Well, I've taken up enough of your time with this homage to Milt Larsen. I could go on for another 12 hours, and I just noticed that I was doing this entire homage to the great Milt Larsen, creator of the Magic Castle in Hollywood, California, my mentor for 32 years, who passed away a few days ago at 92 years old. You may be thinking, 92, that's old enough. It's, I've learned something. It's never old enough.
Yeah.
It's never old enough. But I noticed I was doing this entire homage sober, and Milt Larsen would be pissed off at me. So I poured myself a little Jim Beam.
A little,
yeah. I had a splash of water.
Cheers.
And cheers and
cheers, Milt.
Aloha.
Aloha.
My friend Milt Larsen.
Rest in peace, my friend.
Ah, yeah. Damn. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. He was in a lot of movies too, and TV shows and all sorts of things. And by the way, we just had Patrick Albanese on, my buddy who I know because of Milt Larsen at the Magic Castle. He was a general manager there. And when I mentioned about an hour and a half ago, in the future, all predictions will be wrong, that's a Patrick Albanese. He's a really clever guy. Patrick is a brilliantly clever guy.
And Matt, maybe not now, but when you want me to, I do have a story. My first time I ever met.
Well, get to it quick, because I've got a lot to get to before the top of the hour.
All right, so it was a Make-A-Wish for my son Nicky at the time, and we were in California, me and my ex and my two boys, and Matt had us picked up in a limo. We ended up at this party on top of this hill in Hollywood Hills, or somewhere in that area, at Milt's brother's house, whatever it was. We end up.
By the way, that house is called Brookledge, and it's not in the hills. It's in the belly of Hollywood, and it's the old Larsen house.
Right.
Their father, who was the attorney for Bess Houdini, Harry Houdini's wife.
Yeah.
I mean, the love of magic in that family goes back so many years. And the reason they called it Brookledge is because there is a creek that runs through it to this day.
Beautiful.
And Milt Larsen, he gave it to his niece.
Oh, right.
He gave the house to his niece. He did. I mean, he could have the house. It's his house.
Yeah.
Gave it to his niece. Milt was always a giving person, and you can't see it on camera here on YouTube. I should light this up at some point. This was also gifted me by Milt. He knew what a huge Johnny Carson fan that I continue to be, and he gave me this set prop from one of their sketches, which is a boat with lights on it. And I forgot who the hell was involved in that sketch. But anyway, sorry, Mart.
No, it's fast forward.
So, yes.
So fast forward to that night. So we go back to Matt's house, and the kids and Joni are staying in. Matt said, hey, let's go to the Magic Castle. So I went over there with Matt, and Milt, lo and behold, was sitting at the Al Bar.
Yeah, as he always was.
And so we sat next to Milt, and Matt kind of explained what was going on with the, my son's terminal illness and all this stuff. And I saw Milt shed a tear, but he said the most positive. I'm sorry.
Because Milt Larsen always
the most positive things to me.
Always positive.
And then every time I see him after that, he acted like he'd known me all my life.
Yes, that's Milt. That's
sorry.
Yeah, did you not feel the same way,
Yes.
Mark C.G. Boyer?
Absolutely.
He made you feel at home.
Yeah.
Dave, Tattoo Dave, I'm sorry you missed that, my friend.
I'm really bummed that I did, too.
You can't put things off. You got to grab it and do it and put the hammer down, and because folks aren't here forever. God bless you. Aloha, Milt. This is the story of the week, my friends. Oh, and P.S., I'm going to play the very last interview with Milt Larsen on the third hour. And there's no way if you have stuck with this show today that you won't appreciate this interview with the great Milt Larsen. So third hour on Outlaw Radio. Story of the week. Man left blinded by a ball thrown at Angels Stadium sues the team. So follow this. A man is suing the L.A. Angels nearly a year after being hit in the face and eye by a souvenir ball during a game in Anaheim. Mm-hmm. David Mermelstein, nice Irish boy.
And Matt, you got to mention that. You'll get there, but it's like, it wasn't a foul ball. It wasn't a home run hit. It was a player throwing it into the stands.
Right. So this guy was attending a June game at Angels Stadium with his friends in an effort to take his mind off recent personal tragedies. His father, a Holocaust survivor, just died, and this man, David Mermelstein, was diagnosed with brain cancer. Mm-hmm. So things went horribly wrong, the complaint reads, because he filed a civil complaint.
Right.
After Juan Lagares, then an Angels outfielder, caught the third out at the top of the sixth inning.
Well, why did he go to the game, Matt? To cheer himself up.
Well, yeah.
There's so much depressing stuff going on in his life.
So the Gold Globe winner randomly hurled the ball into the stands at high velocity, striking the unsuspecting Mermelstein on the left side of his face and eye, according to the complaint. The man was there because he has terminal cancer and his dad just died, who was a Holocaust survivor.
Right.
So this man has really nothing positive going on in his life, and he wants to get away from it all.
Sure.
And have a little fun. Maybe eat a hot dog at Angel Stadium and have a good time watching the ball players do what they do on that field.
God.
Well, the plaintiff, who was sitting in the outfield bleachers, had looked down for a moment to eat some peanuts and had no reasonable expectation to be on guard for a baseball careening toward him at high speed, according to the complaint. Mermelstein heard the crowd roar and looked up. As the ball was coming toward his face, he tried to shield himself to no avail. The ball apparently crushed his eyeball, ruptured the globe, and caused internal fluid from his eye to burst. The complaint details. Mermelstein underwent surgery but was left permanently blind in his left eye and disfigured.
Man, don't leave the house anymore, bro.
He alleges he suffers from severe keratoconus, a degenerative vision disorder in his right eye, and considered his left one his good eye. His good eye was hit by the ball at Angel Stadium. Due to his now limited vision, Mermelstein has trouble performing basic activities and faces the possibility of being completely blind in the future. The left eye might have to be removed entirely if the condition does not improve.
What's next?
Randomly throwing a baseball into a crowd of people is neither reasonable nor safe, the lawsuit states. Mermelstein is seeking unspecified damages. MLB tickets come with a disclaimer saying the team is not liable for any injuries sustained during the game.
I hate to laugh, but that guy's got some bad luck going on there, baby.
Yeah.
Man, that's not a good day.
No. Right, Dave? Looks like you're on the phone and you should be hitting the button.
'Cause you had a bad day, you take one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around. You say you don't know, you tell me don't lie, you work and a smile and you go for a ride. You had a bad day, the camera don't lie, you're coming back down and you really don't mind. You had a bad day, yeah, you had a bad day.
I mean, if that's a bad day.
That's terrible. That's a terrible day. So for those of you thinking you're having a bad day, no.
Dad died, brain cancer, and lose an eyeball.
Yeah, that sucks pretty bad.
Whoa.
Mama didn't raise no bitch. Lesbian takes Pride Month apart in a video. Of course, we won't be playing the video, but we will be playing this 1 minute take from this lovely woman who is tatted all over her body. And she'll explain that she is, as she puts it, homosexual. And, and I was thinking about this. So we have one day for our vets, one day. And we have one day, Memorial Day, right? So one day, but we dedicate an entire month
30 days for Pride.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Explain. Anyone? Does that make any friggin' sense? The folks that fought for our freedom, for the lives we live in this country. Yeah. But yet only.
Sorry, that was Monday.
Only one day. Right. Veterans Day and Memorial Day, and not an entire month. I am flabbergasted. It makes absolutely no effing sense to me.
And then I was at work Friday. And this guy said, "It's Pride Month." But I said, "You know what you should be proud." I said, "What are you prideful? What are you prideful for?" Yeah. I did the whole thing that you always say.
Yeah.
I say, you know what you should be prideful for? Maybe an achievement you did or something. Not because you're a heterosexual male or a gay male or transvestite, whatever you are. Yeah. Why are you prideful for that? It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Why?
It's being prideful.
It's disgusting.
Disgusting. You should be prideful for an accomplishment.
Yeah.
So this is a woman on a TikTok video. Her name is Jessie Lawless, and she'll give her take regarding Pride Month.
Hey, Pumpkin, it's Pride Month. Let's talk about it. I'm not a big fan. I don't know what the fuck y'all are so oppressed about. I don't know what everybody's crying about. I don't know why everyone's so upset. I just don't feel oppressed. I don't remember the last time somebody had something bad to say about me because of my sexual preference, maybe because I don't talk about it. If you haven't noticed, I am a homosexual. I don't feel like I need any rainbow flag signs or signals to alert those around me that I am a homosexual. See, I don't make my sexuality part of my personality. As a matter of fact, I like to keep the two completely fucking separate. There's a difference. I depend on my personality to get me places in life, and I don't need anybody to feel bad for me because I eat pussy. I mean, for fuck's sake, we lit up the White House with rainbow colors back when Obama was in office. What more do we need? We can get married. I mean, I see more rainbow flags available for purchase than the red, white, and blue ones that represent our fucking country, but that's none of my business. I did sign up to die for this motherfucker, so it might be my business. See, I'm 40 years old, baby. I actually got discriminated against when I came out of the closet back in 1997. Was that 98? I don't know. I'm old. I forget shit. Nobody baked me a cake. Nobody threw me a party, and nobody bought me anything with a rainbow on it when I came out of the closet. It was quite the opposite, actually. That shit built character and showed me who the real ones were, and it showed me who the fake ones were. Here's my opinion. You don't have to keep listening if you don't want to, but I think a lot of you guys are manifesting this shit. Wake up in the morning, you're like, oh my god, I'm so gay, and everyone around me is gonna hate my gayness, and somebody's gonna be mean to me, and then somebody's mean to you, and you're like, oh my god, I'm so fucking oppressed. See, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I'm just another regular fucking human, and I didn't go do regular human shit. And none of it involves rainbow flags. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is my
She said, Mama didn't raise no bitch.
pride flag still red, white, and blue. You can unfollow me if you want to. I don't fucking care. Mama didn't raise no bitch.
God bless her. God bless her.
Hit it right on the freaking head.
Wow. And right down the street from where we do our thing in the San Fernando Valley here in Los Angeles, spitting distance from Hollywood, it appears that Los Angeles went to DEFCON 1 after potted plant and pride flag was set on fire. Well, NBC News noted that someone broke into the Satakoy Elementary School in North Hollywood. The perp set a potted plant on fire. There was a small pride flag in the pot, which was also burned. The LA Police Department said the incident was being investigated as vandalism, hate crime. No suspects apprehended. The LA school police plan to provide additional patrols around the school. Director of the San Fernando Valley LGBTQ Center told NBC that we are really concerned. We wanted to make sure the kids are safe during the time they're inside the school. We are working on this around the clock. We're keeping an eye on social, even communicating with the school district and the LAPD. We have meetings every day. The district sent the following message to parents. I'm calling to inform you that we experienced a break-in over the weekend at Satakoy, blah, 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 blah. I think the blessing that we are all missing here is the level of crime. Do you know the level of crime here in Los Angeles is through the effing friggin' roof?
Yeah. Oh, they're running around robbing these guys on the street.
Yes, and they're making
turned into a whole fiasco.
Yeah, and they're making a big deal out of a potted plant with a little mini LGBTQ pride flag. Boy, welcome to LA, not.
is Outlaw Radio.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Milt Larsen sent me this.
One night after closing time, the landlord of the Star presented me with a 9-penny cigar. I smoked it until Easter, like one of the la-di-da. Now everybody knows me by the end of me old cigar. Oh, the end of me old cigar. Cha-la, cha-la, cha-la. Everybody knows me by the end of me old cigar.
Milt Larsen, love you, buddy.
One morning after breakfast, into my surgery came a girl with a vaccination plea. Oh, vaccinate me, doctor, but please don't leave a scar. So I vaccinated Gertie with the end of me old cigar.
Hey!
The end of me old cigar.
All right, we don't have enough time for this entire song, but Milt. Oh, really? Boom. Nice. Yeah, Milt, knowing my passion for cigars, and the only time he would ever smoke a stogie is when Mark C.G. Boyer and I would visit him at his place there next to the Magic Castle over the last couple of years. It's the only time he'd smoke a cigar. And I'm sure those, the powers that be at the Magic Castle really hated that. It's like, hey, he's 91 years old. Yes, it's about living life the way you've always lived it, doing what you want to do. And that's what Milt Larsen was and is to this day in heaven, entertaining the heavens with his beautiful Carpenter act.
And Bruce Gary, leave him alone up there.
Yeah,
please.
Bruce Gary, drummer from the Knack. We've lost so many beautiful people, and Bruce was not one of them. No, I love Bruce, drummer from the Knack.
That song reminds me of a Richard Sherman type of writing song. Old
because
Bamboo.
It probably is.
The old bamboo. Bamboo.
Milt Larsen, I neglected to mention that 23 years ago, Magic Magazine polled its readership. They voted Milt one of the 100 most influential individuals in the history of the craft of magic. And 6 years later, he celebrated the 50th anniversary of his annual stage show, It's Magic, here in Los Angeles, and I was there. And I was there a lot of the times.
I've been to one.
And I would say I was there in the good times and the bad times, but for Milton Page Larsen, always good times. Always good times for this man. At the top of the next hour, I'm going to play the last interview ever with Milton Page Larsen. And he never wanted you to call him Milton, even though Milton Berle, who was, let me pick up the name, was my dear friend and made me an honorary Jew 25 years ago.
And we're all still pissed.
Yeah, the Jews have never let that go. But the great Milton Berle,
I called him Milt.
Who also, of course, knew Milt Larsen and Milton Berle. Of course, they were friends.
He knew everybody.
Yeah, and Milt told me one time that Milton Berle said, "That's not your name. Your name is Milton. Use Milton." Yeah. And I brought that up to Milton Berle one day, and he said, "Yes, I said that. I certainly did, because it's Milton Page Larsen, not Milt." That was Milton Berle. And so I guess what I'm trying to tell you is these are not made-up stories. This man, Milt Larsen, a sage.
Knew everyone.
A sage. This man you can learn from. This man was a positive thinker. Bumblebees can't fly, but they do. And God bless you. And the time that I had on this planet, spending it many, many hours with Milton Page Larsen, Milt Larsen. And the other thing, before I play the last interview, this is the first time that I have been on this mortal coil in my some odd years of existence, that I have been here without Milton Page Larsen being alive. First time. This is the first week. And there is a weird sort of loneliness about that.
Mm-hmm. It's an empty feeling.
God bless you, Milt. Aloha.
Hallelujah. Girl, set you hallelujah. Girl, set you hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 oh!
Before we leave, let me tell y'all a little something. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you said and flown it. If you freak dead and own it. Don't brag about it, come show me. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you said and flown it. Well, it's Saturday night and we in the spot.
Don't believe me, just watch. Come on. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, hey, hey,
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time! I'm through with standing in line for some fun to begin, but I found a good thing leaving me with a grin. It's time for Outlaw Radio to begin. Outlaw Radio.
Oh, yeah. Sitting at the bar of the Magic Castle one night so many years ago, I mentioned to the man who will be on with us in mere seconds how much I loved this song, and I'll give you the punchline in a second.
It's years since we parted, years full of tears and regret.
And this is his era.
I've been alone, broken hearted, trying so hard to forget.
As it turns out, it's my era as well.
Girl of my dreams, I love you. Honest, I do. You are so sweet. If I could just hold your charms again in my arms, then life would be complete.
What year, the great Milt Larsen of the Magic Castle, what year was this song, Girl of My Dreams?
Girl of My Dreams. Let's see. Man, I did not write that song.
Oh, you did? One of the rare songs that this man has not written.
I wrote a song that is close to that. It was called Gorilla My Dreams.
Gorilla My Dreams.
Yeah, the Gorilla My Dreams, and that came out about the same time as all the gorilla pictures and stuff. I had nothing to do with Gorilla My Dreams.
This man knew how much I love this song as we were quaffing cocktails at the Magic Castle Owl Bar in Hollywood, California, that on my birthday, he gifted me the original sheet music from Girl of My Dreams.
Wow.
Yeah, that
I do that.
I do that. That, my friends, is the great Milt Larsen, proprietor, creator, the man who oversees. Let me just put it this way. There would be no famous Magic Castle in Hollywood, California, if it weren't for this man on the phone with us right now, the great Milt Larsen. All of this applause is for you.
That's nice, Pat. But my mother and father had a lot to do with that, so it wouldn't be me if it wasn't for them. So give credit where it's due, you know.
All right, I will attempt to do that. This is the most prestigious and probably the only private magic club. I know there have been a few knockoffs, but the Magic Castle is the one invented, created 1963. You and your brother Bill, and you were both working at CBS television at the time, right?
No.
Okay. All right. But by the way, why do you think Milt Larsen and I have been friends for 32 years? Because he's an honest son of a gun. Yeah. Okay, so
well, you're half right.
All right.
Hey, Brother Bill was an executive type person at CBS, and he was an associate producer on Danny Kaye and Playhouse Side and all those things. And I was a writer on Truth or Consequences on NBC. So I was at NBC and Bill was at CBS. So you were half right on it.
Okay. Well, believe me, I'll take half. That's okay. No. And this man, and I probably shouldn't talk about it, so I will. You went through some cataract surgery where for a month you couldn't see, which begs the question, how does the great Milt Larsen, make an old-fashioned without sight?
Well, it's pretty easy. Now, I'm sitting here right now. At 6 o'clock, I have an old-fashioned, and I'm here with Carol Marie, who writes with me on our project and all my books and things. I take all the credit. She does all the work. Anyway, and we're talking about it because I have an old-fashioned sitting in front of me in your honor.
Oh.
And it is perfectly made. And she likes it because I always put a couple of cherries in it as traditionally. And she fishes them out. So she's here. Well, anyway, but yeah, but making an old-fashioned is very, very simple.
Yes.
You get yourself what they call in the trade an old-fashioned glass.
Right.
And it's a particular glass, and then you put a little bit of water in there, and some people put a little seltzer, but I put water, and 2 sugar cubes, and then Angostura bitters, and 5 drops of those, and then of course some crushed ice, and then you fill up the rest of the glass with bourbon. Now, in New Orleans and stuff, they have a Sazerac, which is the same as an old-fashioned, only it has rye whiskey instead of bourbon whiskey.
Right.
So I have either one of them at any time. Very happy to get them.
Very happy to get them. Listen, Milt, did you say, you didn't say a slice of orange, though. You missed the orange, right?
Sitting in front of me right now is my old-fashioned with a slice of orange hanging off the glass.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
So you
well, that has to be it. I'm sorry I mentioned that because it takes me, I wipe out several oranges a night because of my drinks. And Carol Marie takes my maraschino cherry. But there's a science to it.
There is. There is a science. This is the man, Milt Larsen, proprietor of the Magic Castle in Hollywood, California, that taught me how to make the perfect old-fashioned years ago. And by the way, I have been displaying your wares since then for many years, sitting here at this 1876 Virginia City, Nevada-style bar called the Lighten Up Lounge in the hills of the San Fernando Valley is a buddy of mine who I play poker with. His name is Roman. Larsen. He called yesterday. He was about to make an old-fashioned, but he didn't have the recipe. I told him on the phone and your recipe. And how did it turn out, Roman?
It was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's the origination of Milt Larsen, who, by the way, I mean, he's no stranger to quaffing an old-fashioned. So you learned this years ago, did you not, Milt? You learned how to make this years ago.
Well, I've always, the castle is old mansion. It's been there 58 years now, but it's like a house that was made it back in the 1890s, and I always loved the old stuff. So the old-fashioned is America's very first cocktail.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I didn't either.
Yeah.
Now, before the old-fashioned, there were no cocktails. They'd be either drank a whiskey out of a bottle, or you hit a Western Star over the head. It makes too much difference. But so anyhow, the old-fashioned was invented in New York in the 1850s, and was the first cocktail in America. The Sazerac cocktail, which is the same thing with rye instead of bourbon, is a little bit different. It has a French bitters instead of the Angostura bitters.
Right.
And you wash the glass with a little Pernod.
Right. Right.
And that makes it into a Sazerac.
Yeah. Now, it's a Pernod rinse, right? In and out.
Yeah, you just rinse it.
Yep.
Put a little in and throw it out. And a great waste of Pernod. And that used to be the...
a great waste.
And that was, the liqueur that had certain habit-forming properties in it, so that became illegal.
Right.
That's all Pernod is. Legalized.
It's like an absinthe, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the. So when I had the, Dick Sherman and I wrote the musical Zaz, and when we opened it up in Santa Barbara, I wanted to have Sazerac cocktails because I call it Pizzazerac.
Pizzazz. The name of their show.
Right.
Yeah.
I said it'd be kind of cool if the bars around. We opened it up in Santa Barbara, and all the bars in Santa Barbara would have Pizzazerac cocktails.
Yeah.
At that time, it was fine. Because Sazerac cocktails, there's a brand called Sazerac. That's rye whiskey.
Right.
So I said, I'm going to have all the bars start making Pizzazerac cocktails. And well, it was fine, except I went to our bar manager here at the castle, and I said, order me a case of Sazerac rye whiskey. And Chris was very nice. He said, I called the distributor, they don't have any. I said, how can a distributor not have anything? I mean, God, how horrible to think that a distributor could run out of booze.
No, that's terrible.
So I made a kind of a big sting about it, and I said, well, our bar manager here, and to find out what's wrong. So he did with our distributor, and Magic Castle has quite a large reputation for, but we only have 5 bars, and they're all loaded all the time.
Oh, yeah?
There used to be up to last year.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's been a bad year, yeah.
So anyhow, I did a big enough thing. I got a call from the manager of distributor here, and explained that they didn't have that much call for it, so they just didn't make enough and understood it. And he said, okay, fine. So he said, I'm going to talk to the owner, and he did.
Yeah.
And the owner of and they also make a whole lot of other booze. But and he said, there's nothing I can do for you, but I'll give you a list of every store in Santa Barbara that has any inventory of Sazerac whiskey.
Okay.
And I said, you can? And he said, yes. So he gave me this list, and this is before we opened the show up there. And I told him what I wanted to do. I want to have all the bars have their brand and their thing, and it would be a Sazerac thing. So anyway, I did. And the end of this very long story is that I would go to the liquor store in Montecito, and I said, I like to Sazerac rye whiskey. And the salesman would say, I don't think we have that. And I said, yes, I think you do.
Yes, I think you do.
And he said, well, let me check. And he said, you're right.
You're right.
He said, we have a bottle of that. I didn't see it there, but yes, we have it. And you want? I said, yes, I want. You have two of them. I want both of them.
Oh yeah, of course you want both of them.
So he said, how did you do that? And I said, I'm Milt Larsen. I live in Montecito. I have a show coming up called the
Pizzazz.
Pizzazz.
Yep.
And I want to have Pizzazerac there. And I just, I'm a magician. And I know things that I know because of magic.
Right.
I know that you have 2 bottles of Sazerac.
All right. Now listen, Milt. Yes.
The thing is, I went to every liquor store in Santa Barbara and told them how many bottles they had, and I bought them all.
Yeah,
And any place around the Librero Theater in Santa Barbara had little table tents on it. They be sure to try to Pizzazerac.
Yep.
Anyway, well, I've used up all my time. Good night.
No. Now listen. Last time that Lori and I were up there visiting Milt at his house in Santa Barbara, he made me a Sazerac. He said, now, would you mind if and I just stopped in there. I said, any drink you make will be more than fine with me. This man knows.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is a master mixologist, the great Milt Larsen, proprietor of the Magic Castle, and as a special treat or a treatment, I'd like to present the Outlaw Radio Singers singing Happy Birthday to you, Happy Birthday to you, Happy Birthday, Milt Larsen, Happy Birthday to you. Wow.
Well, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, Carol and I are going to write a new book called Life Begins at 90.
Yeah, he turns 90.
That's
90.
incredible.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you what, there's something to be said for enjoying a stiff cocktail at cocktail hour every night.
Yeah.
And this man knows. And
yes, I was one.
That's not only one.
Not only one. No, like this
I
is.
used to be one, but I shared that.
This is, I get tingly when I think about this. The greatest times in my life, the greatest times in my entire life have been spent there in the Magic Castle with this man, Milt Larsen, that I am talking to right now. Because of him, I have met some of the most beautiful people who have remained friends in my life, from Robert Hayes of Airplane fame to a man that as Milt and I are sitting at the Owl Bar, which is the second level of the world-famous Magic Castle in Hollywood, he says, Matt, you got to come downstairs for a moment. And I'm thinking, why do we need to leave our place here at the Owl Bar? He said, just trust me. We went downstairs and sat at the main bar as you walk in through the bookcase after saying open sesame. We're sitting there, and I'm thinking, what is he doing? All of a sudden, at the top of the stairs, there is Ronald and Nancy Reagan walking down the stairs.
Wow.
And that night was a beautiful night. The fact that this man led to the introduction, and he brought me to them and said, I'd like you to meet a friend of mine, Matt Allen. Or you might have called me Mel Allen. I do, you know. Yeah, you probably did, Milt. Yeah, but we introduced, and there were.
But you called him Richie, so.
There is a no picture policy at the Magic Castle, but we took pictures that night, and I never received mine with Ronald and Nancy. Where are you stashing them, Milt? Where are they?
Your picture? We have the men's room and we have the ladies' room.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you exactly where your picture is.
Not only that, but through Milt Larsen at the Magic Castle, I met the great Bob Barker, who, by the way, is much older than you, Milt, much older.
No, not much. He's only 97.
Yeah. He's up there. You're a kid. I met Beverly Hillbillies Jed Clampett at the Magic Castle.
Wow.
Yeah. Who, by the way, I was there with my hippie Uncle Dick from Northern Nevada that night, who loved the Jed Clampett stomp, and I asked that man, could you do a little, Jed Clampett? He performed the Jed Clampett stomp there at the Magic Castle for my uncle, Milt Larsen. That happened.
Awesome.
Wow. But Buddy Upson was a beautiful man.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
He loved his castle. He used to come down when we had the variety arts there. Buddy would come down and do his soft shoe dancing and stuff.
Yeah, brilliant guy who was the original Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz, but the makeup screwed up his body, so he couldn't do it. But that was
not the part.
Yeah, and by the way, we just glossed over this, but you mentioned a man by the name of Dick Sherman, who happens to be your best friend. Dick Sherman happens to be Dick Sherman, a.k.a. Richard Sherman. That is only the man who wrote every Disney song in the history of Walt Disney, and they made a deal with Walt Disney in his car one day because they just simply wanted to be paid outright. And Richard Sherman, Milt Larsen, proprietor of the Magic Castle's best friend, said, well, yeah, we would like to be paid outright. Walt Disney said, listen, kids, just take a penny or a nickel for every time it plays at the park. They did.
Small world.
And that was a pretty good deal, right? It's a small world after all, Milt?
Yeah, it's a cute bitty. But, I talked to Dick yesterday, and he is in good health. He's only 93 now.
Yeah.
But,
right.
But, Dick didn't write every song Disney ever did, but they wrote most of them. They were on contract, and statistically, the Sherman brothers, that Bob and Dick, Bob passed away a couple of years ago, but they in the time they were with Disney, they became the most prolific songwriters that ever wrote in Hollywood, because they wrote every musical that Disney did.
Yep.
And love doing these musicals.
Yeah, everyone.
I'll tell him I talked to you today, and he will be thrilled to know I talked to you. And I'll say I talked to Frank.
Yeah, Frank. He calls me Frank.
I mean,
what's his name? Listen, Dick. Mac. Yes, Magic Mac. Dick Sherman is one of the sweetest guys on the planet, and you. God, I got so much more. Are we going to break, Lauren? Okay. Hey, Milt. Is there any way we can hold you over?
I'm being held over.
Okay.
Actually, it's kind of awkward because not Harley, but my wife is in Santa Barbara, and I'm here. But Carol Marie has got my ankles, and they're holding me over. I can do that.
Can we do that for just hang in there?
Why not? I've got nothing better to do.
Okay, all right. More with the great, and by the way, I'm gonna cry. I love this man so much. I've never had a bad time with him. And we've written TV shows together. We'll talk about that, and a man named Archibald Leach, who he was best friends with, not as good a friend as Dick Sherman of Disney fame, next on Outlaw Radio. Outlaw.
This is Outlaw Radio.
Well, how about just simply one of the greatest living human beings on the planet and the Walt Disney of adult entertainment. No, not porn, but the Magic Castle in Hollywood, California, meaning that you must be 21 to enter. You must be 21 to say open sesame to the bookcase. Bookcase will then open, and then you are transformed and metamorphosed into a world of magic, which is an 1876-ish Victorian gorgeous place in Hollywood, California that has been shut down for the last year.
Pandemic, I always call it the plague, but what the hell? That was about a year ago. And I think it's all about my birthday, They like to close everything I love about my pictures. Anyway.
Yeah. Did you hear that? They like to close everything I love.
But the problem is that the castle, unlike any place in the world, is very large and very unique because we have 3 theaters and 5 bars, and it's an old mansion that's been turned into all sorts of different rooms and wonderful things. There's no way we can do it.
Yeah, well, I'm with you. I love the place. I mean, it's my home away from home.
In the meantime, they had to cancel a lot of bourbon orders at the distributor because just not being there all the time is sends them an awful lot of bourbon.
Yeah, hey, by the way, in honor of the great Milt Larsen, we are drinking bourbon today.
Yep.
This man that we're talking to, the great Milt Larsen, you were good friends with a man named Archibald Leach, were you not?
Oh yes, Archie, good friend.
Archibald Leach passed away 3 years before I met Milt at the Magic Castle one fateful night.
Oh.
And yeah, it was 3 years he had passed away. Archibald Leach was pretty well known for his film work. Sort of a movie star. Would you go that far, Milt?
He was pretty good. He had a lot of good walk-in parts.
Right.
I think I know who we're talking about.
Archibald Leach. His stage name was a guy named Cary Grant.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh yeah.
And
he was cool.
Cary Grant would sit there at the bar with Milt, and you would ruminate about things, and you'd talk about life. And he invited you to New York one time because he had a girl that he thought that would be perfect for you, that he wanted to. The great Cary Grant had a girl that he wanted to fix up with Milt Larsen.
Nice.
Yeah, that's true. Good story. Okay.
And you did show up at the airport and his private jet, And it wasn't his private jet, right? It was the Fabergé.
He was a spokesman for Fabergé.
Right.
Perfume, and so it was the Fabergé private jet. There was George, whatever his name is. But that was kind of a cool thing. I was sitting in the bar with Sherry one night, and just talking about small talk and everything. I said something about tomorrow I was going to do something. He said, I'm coming with you. I'm going to New York tomorrow. And I said something very simply like, I haven't been there for a while. And he said, well, why don't you come with me? And I said, well, what? Well, he liked to refer, well, my plane is leaving. I said, well, Gary, I said, if you're not kidding, I would love stop every go to New York. And he said, well, do it. My sister will double check with me, but that would be very nice. Go with me.
That would be very nice. Go with Cary Grant to New York on a private jet.
Yeah,
okay.
maybe.
Yeah. I mean, this is Milt. This is the life of Milt Larsen.
I acquiesce.
Yeah, right. Of course.
A little story about that is at that time I was driving my 1953 MG. Among other bigger car, but
I remember the car. Yes.
Going to the Kerry's plane is a Gulfstream 2 private jet. It's not at the regular airport, it's the private airport.
Mm-hmm.
And the secretary said, you have to go up to the gate and honk your horn 3 times, and the gate will open.
To the airport, cool. Okay, right.
So now I'm in my 1953 MG, going there for the experience of my life. I'm going to get on a plane with Kerry, and I forgot to park my horn in my little vintage car. Didn't work. I'm not in Paris. I don't know how American people, So I'm at the gate of the private airport, and this is plenty of time because I was not going to be late for this one.
No.
And so I'm at the gate there doing my imitation of what horns should look like. Some poor soul in a fancy car behind me got out of his car, came up, and I could help. And they honked their horn 3 times and the gate opened. So I was able to do that. So now I got to, now I go up to Kerry's plane, which is sitting there, and the captain, what I mean, said, you must be Mr. Larsen. Well, yeah, I'm the only guy that came up with a stupid him. I must be.
I must be.
I said, what time does the flight leave? And he said, it's whenever Mr. Grant gets here.
Oh, isn't that gorgeous?
And I said, well, I guess that's fair.
That makes sense, yeah.
And that's the Fabergé jet is, it's got little cute things like a grand piano and stuff. But he said, what would you like for lunch? And I said, well, what do you have? And he said, well, basically, what do you want?
Anything
said, what does Kerry have? And Kerry likes hot dogs.
Isn't dead pork.
And I said, really? Hot dog? And he said, yes. He said, Mrs. Fabergé, who was a lady, but yes, you can have anything you want. You can have filet mignon, you can
have lobster, anything.
We have enough in our kitchen to make anything you want. But Carrie happened like that. So I said, I will join Carrie.
Of course. Hey, Milt, you know I would do the same thing. I would have to have a hot dog.
I had a hot dog yesterday. I love hot dogs.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. It's Milt Larsen who hung with a Cary Grant because they respected Milt because he really is the Walt Disney of our time. Yeah. He truly is.
He's sitting on a private jet with a grand piano in it, and he gets a hot dog.
Yeah, but I love the question. I love the question from Milt, which is, so when does the plane take off when Mr. Grant arrives? I mean,
it never did. A bunch of terrorists came over and blew that thing up.
Oh, jeez! That's a terrible thing.
I hope I'm absolutely kidding. I hate it when I do things like that, but it's we took off to New York, and it was a beautiful day. And that's when he thought I should meet this beautiful lady who was doing an interview. One story about that one is that and she did. She looked very much like the most beautiful lady in the world.
Wow.
And Carrie said, you should get together, When we get to New York, you should have some babies.
You should have some babies.
I think this is a little too soon for that. A beautiful couple. But on the same flight, she literally took a cigarette out of her purse and put it in her mouth and did what all romantic movies at that time.
Yeah.
The romantics male would light the cigarette.
Of course.
And so she put the cigarette in her mouth and carried my dear. If you want me to light that cigarette for you, I won't do it. And she looked like a thunderbolt in his hair.
Yeah.
My God.
Wow.
How could that be? Yes, he said, you are a beautiful young lady, but I don't really approve of ladies smoking cigarettes.
Wow.
But that was his life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I said this, wow. Gorgeous lady. Couldn't put the cigarette back after his absolutely. And she was delightful.
Yeah. But that's a long.
Nobody but Cary Grant could have done that.
No one but Cary Grant could have gotten away with that. But that's a long flight to New York without a cigarette if you smoke cigarettes. The great Milt Larsen, the proprietor of the Magic Castle, world famous Magic Castle, and one of my dearest friends for 32 years. If you could do it again, would you change a thing, Milt Larsen?
If I could do it again, I would conceivably, after the first maybe week or two of my life, it might have gone a different direction. But if it did go in a different direction, I am notoriously, I'm an Aries person, and an Aries person likes starting things but not finishing them. And, all my life, I've had a few little things. I started Magic Castle, and then there's a Mayfair Music Hall, which is a British music hall, and a variety art.
Yeah.
And then
downtown LA.
Magical Empire. And all of them.
By the way, Magical Empire, Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas.
Nice.
That was his as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, you were saying.
No, I just invented it. But I'm just saying, I would do everything that I've done and do more than that because you're never done with what you could do. And I believe that everybody in the world. There's no possibility that anybody could possibly do anything the imagination would let them do. Unfortunately, most people get sidetracked by getting a job in someplace they don't like, but they get married to somebody they're not terribly fond of, and they get divorced, and they have children who see them from, it's terrible. So I just plod along. I have my little project, very successful after the time. I lose my lease, and I do whatever they do. So that's my life.
Milt Larsen?
And that's your question. I wouldn't change a thing.
Milt Larsen, I could go on another 2 hours with you, but let me just...
I know you do.
Let me just conclude this, or say aloha to Milt Larsen by saying, Milt Larsen, bumblebees can't fly.
That's so good. That is so good. That was a dear friend of mine one time, just where they said, it's impossible. And I said, so is a bumblebee. That is true.
They can't.
Technically, there's no way for a bumblebee to fly. But they do.
But they do.
Technically, there's no way for a crazy little house on the hill in Hollywood to make it with a bunch of magicians.
Yep.
But we do.
Impossible.
And that's 58 years later.
Wow.
Yes. So life begins at tidy, and for me.
Milt Larsen, I love you, bud. I love you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Milt.
Birthday, Milt.
It's great.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Oh.
All right.
So, you're listening to Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
All right, mic's up. Okay. For those of you who endured, and, obviously this man is close to my heart. I don't expect you to feel the same thing. I mean, that would be stupid and ridiculous. And when he passed a few days ago, I'm, minding my own business. I received an email from Lori Downey Jr., our former producer of Outlaw Radio. And she said, Matt, I'm so very sorry. Would you like company? Well, I didn't return her email.
No, because you didn't want company.
No, I didn't want to talk to anyone.
No, you didn't even tell me about it. You're like, whatever.
Yeah, but that's, that's...
I'm the same way.
Love it or hate it, that's who I am.
Yeah.
Because I hate it when people make things about them. And when they make a death in their life that hurts them, when they make it about them. Because it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about a man that brought great joy to this world and so many people in his life, Milt Larsen.
So after you ignored the text,
I ignored the email. I'm still, a Luddite, so I ignored the email, and I'm in here in the bar working, and I hear the gate open, and it's like, what the hell is going on here? And it was Lori. She crashed the non-party. And as it turns out, I'm glad she did.
Well,
I bet you it helped out a lot.
I said, Lori, would you like a Modelo? Oh, I'd love one.
Yeah, and then Mart came out.
Yeah.
And because I hadn't seen Mart, my brother Mart, all day either, so he came out like a Modelo. And so Lori, after 4 or 6 Modelos, and spending hours talking about Milt. Yeah, it did my heart good, and I appreciate Lori Downey Jr. very much for barging in uninvited. And
didn't she bring the dog too?
Yes.
Oh yeah, and I love.
You know what? That distraction couldn't do anything but help.
Oh, Dave, that just spending time with the dog was I love that dog.
You mean the dog that doesn't attack you?
I love no.
A dog that likes him.
I love that doggy. Most dogs like me. So I know we said we were going to do this differently, but this is how we're doing this.
Yeah.
I appreciate you watching this on YouTube. Patrick Albanese, my dear friend, I'm certain you're still there. Lorenzo Clark, who is doing a free show in Vegas tonight, 7 o'clock.
Yep.
And
Robert Hayes.
Yeah, my buddy Robert Hayes.
Which is now the captain of the Mukilteo Ferry.
Yeah, Captain Stryker from Airplane.
Captain Stryker from Mukilteo.
My thanks to Tattoo Dave.
Thank you.
Wish you could have met the man. Next time when I tell you need to be there with us.
You did tell me, but the
and I said you need.
Itself.
I said you need to be there. Listen to me.
Yeah.
My brother Mart.
T.
Mart C.G. Boyer.
Genuine, heartfelt thank you for letting me spend time with this incredible man.
Yeah.
I cherish the moments. Even when he told me my stories were boring.
He's a straight shooter.
My buddy HR man, Billy Dilly, I love you. And Lori, love you. I will continue to be Magic Matt on Outlaw Radio. Thank you very much for your patience with this homage to the great man, Milt Larsen, creator, proprietor of the Hollywood Magic Castle. And honest to God, I mean this from my heart. Today's Walt Disney. God bless you. Don't forget, bumblebees can't fly.
Dear, it seems years since we parted, years full of tears and regret. I've been alone, broken hearted, trying so hard to forget. Girl of my dreams, I love you. Honest, I do. You so sweet. If I could just hold your charms again in my arms, then life would be complete. Since you've been gone, dear, life don't seem the same. Please come back again. And after all said and done, there's only one girl of my dreams. It's since you've been gone, dear, life don't seem the same. Please come back again. And after all said and done, there's only one girl on my dreams. It's you. Dear, it seems years since we parted, years full of tears and regret. I've been alone, broken hearted, trying so hard to forget.
I could just hold your charms again in my arms, then life would be complete. Since you've been gone, dear, life don't seem the same. Please come back again. And after all said and done, there's only one girl of my dreams. It's since you've been gone, dear, life don't seem the same. Please come back again. And after all said and done, there's only one girl of my dreams. It's you. Dear, it seems years since we parted, years full of tears and regret. I've been alone, broken hearted, trying so hard to forget. Girl of my dreams, I love you, honest I do. You are so sweet.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. And will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them that I won't be long, and they'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Yeah, we'll meet again. I don't know where, and I don't know when, but I do know that we'll meet again some sunny day. So honey, keep on smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. And would you please say hello to all the folks that I know, and tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. And will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them that I won't be long, and they'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Yeah, we'll meet again. I don't know where, and I don't know when, but I do know that we'll meet again some sunny day. So honey, keep on smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. And would you please say hello to all the folks that I know, and tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away.
I would do everything that I've done and do more than that, because you're never done with what you could do. And I believe that everybody in the world. There's no possibility that anybody could possibly do anything the imagination would let them do. Unfortunately, most people get sidetracked by getting a job in someplace they don't like, but they get married to somebody they're not terribly fond of, and they get divorced, and they have children who see them from. It's terrible. So I just plod along. I have my little project, very successful up to the time. I lose my lease and I do whatever they do. And that's my life.
Milt Larsen?
And that's your question. I wouldn't change a thing.
Milt Larsen, I could go on another 2 hours with you, but let me just...
I know you do.
Let me just conclude this or say aloha to Milt Larsen by saying, Milt Larsen, bumblebees can't fly.
That's so good. That is so good. That was a dear friend of mine one time, just when they said, it's impossible, and I said, show us a bumblebee. And it's true.
They can't
Technically, there's no way for a bumblebee to fly. But they do.
But they do.
Technically, there's no way for a crazy little house on the hill in Hollywood to make it with a bunch of magicians.
Yep.
But we do.
Impossible.
And that's 58 years later.
Wow.
Yes. So life begins at tidy, and for me.
Milt Larsen, I love you, bud. I love you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Milt.
Birthday, Milt.
It's great.
Like the man. Like your leg.
Oh.
All right.
So, you're listening to Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.